said I bought you. Yeah, we should roll a pound and count it. Yeah, look at all these heads that I bought you. Yeah, come and help me mount them. Won't stop till my driveway got a fountain. I done quit so many jobs, you would think that I'm a quitter. Really, I need quick cash, I just need it quick fast. So I hit that field till that kid got that big stash. Shit.
Yo, you already know what it is. You are listening to The Urban Product. It's your boy DME.
It's your boy Cozy Rich.
Yeah, it's your girl Money.
Hey, facts. And we back on the Zoom, back to give y'all another episode. But before we get in too deep, I just want to ask y'all, how are you doing? Because clearly a lot of shit has happened this week. Since the last time we recorded, literally the morning we recorded, everything was smooth. And then the following night, shit went crazy. So I just want to check in to see how everyone's doing right now since.
Well, I just got my first haircut in 3 months. So that in itself has put me in, a great mood. I'm in a wonderful mood. But that as well as, the fact that, I got my eyebrows cleaned up as well. So, I'm in my bag right now. But
I'm happy for you.
But, my city was a little rampant today. My city was a little wild. So, besides that, I could be a little better, but, I'm still all right.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Iman?
I'm good. I feel like the crazy, I'm not even gonna say nonsense, the craziness that's going on, it's still kind of surreal to me. So just to see everything unfold the way it has, it's kind of scary. And then like the way people are, the way you see how people actually are, like who they are as a person during these type of circumstances. So all of that's just being blown up to proportion. It's just like, wow, okay, nice to know you were about that life. Cool. But yeah, other than that, I could be better, like Rich said, but I'm good.
Okay. All right, word.
How about you?
Yeah. How you doing?
I've been okay. I've been all right. I think during this entire time, I've just tried to take this time to educate myself and others as much as possible on everything that's going on. Because we obviously know so much based on our experiences and everything that we know so far, but obviously there's so much more that we can learn just so we can be better informed on the situation and just let other people know what's going on and how to handle all these different situations, because it's a scary time. It's a scary time to be. It's always been a scary time to be Black, but just right now, it is a very scary time in America. Nobody knows what to do or how to go about it. So I've just been here kind of as I've been here for emotional support, mental support, and just making sure, things don't get too crazy over here,
I will say it is a scary time, but it's also a good time. I feel like it's a good time because when have we ever seen a time in history where all 50 states in 18 countries in the world are coming together for one cause? For one cause. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of anything where that many people, that many countries are coming together to, make a stand. So, it is sad the reason why we have to do this. But I think it is a touching and, a glaring moment where we should just take a moment to, just realize how lucky we are that, people in this time, 2020, 21st century, actually want to make a change. And we're doing that right now. So I'm happy that, it's finally happening. I just hate the way it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's just get this right. When we say it's finally happening, what's really
getting
happening
rights.
is
We are
just
getting
developments
rights
on the whole George Floyd case. Really what's just happening is just more developments on the George Floyd case. Yes, that's the main center of this whole issue at the moment, but there's still so much more to unpack. You feel me? This isn't just gonna go away after George Floyd. You feel me?
No. What I meant was, well, for one, this God rest his soul, rest in peace, George Floyd. But this is bigger than George Floyd at this point. He was the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially. So yes, this isn't gonna go away just because his people, the men that murdered him, they got second-degree charges, and the other 3 got accessories to the second-degree murder charge. So they're going away, right? I understand, their time is coming. But what about for future purposes? We got to keep this shit up for future purposes, so more black men don't get put in that same position where they got to fear for their life. And I just think right now, what we're doing right now, this has never been done in history, where we've all stood together, rallied together, protested as hard as we have. We got police in riot gears, fucking shooting rubber bullets, throwing tear gas, pepper spraying people, and we still out here protesting. This shit hasn't happened like this before. So I'm just saying, like, George Floyd, like, his death will not be for no reason. I feel like it will bring serious change to the country, and I think change is coming. I really do believe change is coming, because I don't see black people or anyone who agrees with this cause giving up until we get the fuck what we want.
Yeah.
I really don't see us letting up until that happens.
And I don't see anybody I really don't see anybody stopping it. Because at first, I don't know if you guys feel like it was going to get to this point. I personally thought it was just going to be another round of protests, like around the same states that I've been seeing for the past couple of days. And then the fact that I've seen now that it's every single state, and now it's taken to a whole different level where, there's violence on top of it, there's police brutality, and then there's looting, and there's all these crazy things, and it's just like, wow, okay, like, it's just like, wow, okay, like, everyone's like, not only is everyone getting involved, but everyone is angry. Now, I'm not going to say every single person, especially when it comes to the looting, is doing this for the right reason. There's obviously people out here who's trying to do it for clout, who's trying to do it for tweets, who's trying to do it for views, for whatever they really think they can get out of it. But just to see the amount of effect that it has had on everybody involved is, I think, the icing on the cake for me.
Very profound, I'll say. It's very profound.
Well, let's discuss the case a little bit. So before we recorded, nobody was arrested yet. Since then, what they first did was they only charged Derek Chauvin with a third-degree manslaughter, and the other 3 officers weren't charged or arrested with anything yet. Now today, we get Derek Chauvin has his charge upgraded from third-degree manslaughter to now second-degree murder, and now the other 3 officers that were involved in the situation have been charged with aiding and abetting in second-degree murder. What do we think about that?
I'm happy that they they finally did charge him with second-degree murder. I'm happy it wasn't first, because if it was first, that means they would have to prove his intent, prove that he wanted to kill him, like he had the intent going into it, which I don't think they would have been able to prove that. So the fact that it is second degree, I forget the term or how long of a sentence that is, but I just know he's going away for a long time. And the fact that, even though they, the 3 officers there who just standing there holding them down and everything, even though they weren't really like they didn't have their knees on him like that, I'm happy that, they still got, what was it, accomplice to aiding and abetting to second degree murder. So I'm happy, they finally got their due. I also, I really can't say anything. Like, I'm just happy. We can't let up.
Well, let's just say they were charged, but they haven't been taken to trial yet. So
Bro,
the trial hasn't happened yet.
Bro, they've been charged, and if they are not convicted, all hell is breaking loose. So I already know they're going to get convicted. Like, you cannot tell me there is no. I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. You can give me these looks. If they do not get convicted, y'all thought niggas was protesting now? Whoa. I think it'll get violent if niggas if they get off. Because, think about it. We've been protesting hard for a good week and a half now for this conviction, really. And then for them to basically or not the conviction, or you know what I mean, prosecution, whatever. Yeah. So if they get off after all this, I really don't see us letting that fly. Because if they can get off and that shit was recorded, bro, we're never gonna get equal rights. We're never gonna, stop police brutality, because they'll get away with anything then if that's the case, and we just can't let that happen.
I don't even see it like that. I just see it. I see it. It could it could possibly happen, but at the same time, like Rich said, all hell will break loose. They're worrying about the money now. You think these people are just robbing malls, and next thing you know, people will actually go and rob banks. People are gonna take it to a whole next level. There will actually be people going and trying to, I'm not saying I'm not part of it or anything, but there will be people who will want to go on the White House and will want to take that, risk and trying to make a point, because the fact that it's already been taken this far, there's so many footage being taken out. There's so many information between the history of those of Derek Chauvin and George Floyd, and the fact that you guys were gonna allow. The only reason why they even went and charged the people, because the other officers, because money was being lost, these protests were still occurring, and it started getting too violent, or there was too many backlash happening to them. So for them to actually allow these 4 men, if the possibility of them actually allowing them to go and walk these streets freely, and whatever the case may be, they are asking for. You already got the damn Mr. Cheeto Face sitting there trying to incite it already. But it will
Mr.
get
Cheeto
worse. No, he looks like a Cheeto. I call him Mr. Cheeto Face.
Cheeto Face.
Like, it will get worse. And I feel like they know this. So that's why for me, I'm a little bit like, okay, it could go that way. Because in all actuality, if you have the president saying these racist things, giving people encouragement to go and use their Second Amendment, use their right to Second Amendment, they possibly might not let these people be charged or convicted so that they can incite a whole war. Do I want that to happen? Of course not. But I'm not going to say I can't see that happening the way things are going within the government.
This is legit the only thing that people have been talking about for the last week and a half. This is legit the only thing everyone is talking about. And I absolutely love it, because discussions that we would have never had before are happening now.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my city of Medford, I went to high school with a whole lot of people, and people are getting dragged today because, racist tendencies that they had back in the day, things, derogatory things that were said, actions that were done. And I'm just like, wow, it brings you back to like when you were that age and not really realizing what the fuck was going on. And it makes me proud to, have grown and just done some research and, just reflect on what happened in the past to really realize, like, damn, these niggas were racist. Like, I was putting up with a lot of shit I shouldn't have been putting up with. So, like, I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting today. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I let a lot of shit slide when I was in high school that I shouldn't let slide, which is probably played a part into some people, having racist tendencies or, still thinking they can do shit that they want. So it's just like, I've realized, like, how this shit really affects people firsthand, because it's affecting me in my life, right now. So this is just a topic that's just going to be thrown around for a while, and I don't want it to go away, because if it does go away, that means the protesting is stopped, and we just got to keep pushing forward, because discussions that weren't going to be had are definitely happening now.
Okay. Now,
what's your opinion, though? Yeah,
I was also
giving us your opinion.
Yeah, of course. I was happy to hear that, all officers were charged how they should have been. Sucks that it took about 9 days, 10 days for it to happen. 10 days of protests for it to happen. Do I think that it would have happened without the protests? No, not at all. Not at all. I think it would have been another situation that would have been swept under the rug, like most cases that aren't shown to the media are. So I think this is a step. I'm not going to really say that we got what we wanted, but I will say that it is a step in the right direction. Now, with this being said, because all officers were charged and arrested finally, I personally don't think the protest should stop, because
hell no.
There comes a certain point in time where I'm thinking that, like, yo, the government is in a shitstorm right now. The government, the police system, the justice system, they're in a shitstorm right now. They're looking bad in front of the entire world. You were talking about all 50 states. Bam, there's protests going on in the entire world, bro.
That's what I said.
The entire world is protesting this shit. You feel me? So now the way I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all got to charge these officers because you're under the public eye. Cool. But I think that we shouldn't stop protesting, because if we stop protesting just because they gave us what we want,
Mm-hmm.
just because they gave us what we want,
Say it.
I think they will just find ways to go around it and just end up making the whole thing go away. You feel me? Like there was instances where, like, examples, for example, in these protests, right? And a lot of these protests in the beginning, cops were holding their own. Nobody was really saying anything. Nobody really wanted to work with the protesters. A couple days later, we saw some officers starting to side with the protesters, kneeling with them, walking with them. A couple days later, we see cops kneeling, protesting with the protesters as a way to bait them into getting close to them so that they can just apply excessive force on them. So now I'm just like, okay, now I'm seeing a thing where we're just like, okay, we tell you we want something, you give us a little bit just to take it all back after, you feel me? So yeah, cool. All of these guys were charged. I'm not going to be happy until they're convicted. So that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, go ahead, keep protesting. Because yeah, we got officers that were involved with the George Floyd, but Breonna Taylor's people are still out there. There's mad other people that are still out there. And this isn't just a George Floyd situation. This is
laws have to be
a
rewritten.
call for all Black lives. You feel me? We're not protesting for just George Floyd. You feel me?
Laws have to be
Floyd
rewritten.
might have been what sparked the entire thing, but he's not the only reason why we're protesting. You feel me? There's mad other people. So I think if they just keep protesting peacefully, no matter how violent no matter how violent certain groups are trying to make it, I think if they just continue to protest peacefully and keep just exposing all of this corruptness in the public eye, then that's when we start making change. You feel me?
My thing is, the more violent they get, the government, the police officials, National Guard, whatever, the better we look. Because you got to take into account, like, when you watch the news, I actually took some time, because I've been seeing on Twitter, like, people saying, like, if you watch the news, you're only going to see, protests getting demonized and shit. Fam, it's facts. Like, I was watching the news yesterday with my mom, and the shit you see on Twitter, you know how we see, like, behind the scenes shit, like cops actually planting shit, cops doing this, saying shit to certain people. You don't get any of that on the news. Actually, like, what you would get is, like, some videos, like, you'll see on Twitter. You'll see the whole thing on Twitter. You'll see certain clips on the news to push their narrative that the protesters are doing certain things. So I personally think if government, National Guard, police get violent with us, you can't hide that. And I already know other countries would come to our aid. I genuinely feel like other countries would come to our aid to help if that was the case. Because U.S. troops are killing American citizens, for one. I think some soldiers wouldn't want to, partake in some shit like that if they started getting violent. So would drop out of the military, stand down. But I know a bunch would follow orders. You feel me? So I don't want them to get violent, but if they do get violent, I think it's better for us because it shines a light on who they really are and what they stand for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I want to break down the actual protests themselves with you. So I believe that at these protests, there are four groups. So there's the cops, there's the protesters themselves, there's cloud chasers, and the rioters. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because like the way I wanted to think about it, I was just like, okay, so there's no way people participated in a peaceful protest. Some go for like 4-8 hours. I'm like, there's no way somebody sat through an entire peaceful protest and then just started getting buck out of nowhere. You feel me? I really think there are people who aren't attending these protests at all, but are arriving much later into the protests, not for the sake of protesting, but just to loot and riot instead. And like I don't know. There's just a thing where all of these things happening where we just want to come together for the right reason. We're coming together for a common cause, and there's just always people looking to tarnish that. You feel me? And I just want to, I don't know, I just want to discuss that with you because that's been on my mind too. I know everyone has their, personal opinions on looting, but I just want to like get your personal opinions on all of that. You feel me?
I was going to say with the cloud chasers, it's pretty much easy to see who's a cloud chaser and who's not because, for example, like whatever her name is, Bad Barbie. I don't know her name.
Bobby.
Thank you. Her. She's a cloud chaser because she's definitely gotten her success, fame, whatever you want to call it, from Black culture, and she tried to play like she didn't. And then she really tried to argue with everybody that she wasn't. And then 5 days later, she want to talk about Black Lives Matter. So she's top tier cloud chaser. We see it as it is, and everybody's, canceling. She was already canceled, but like she's on a whole different level of cancel. Then you have the cops who I don't feel like they should be kneeling. I don't know why people are asking cops to be kneeling. Again, this is my personal opinion. I don't feel like if I'm in a protest and I'm not going to ask a cop to kneel. That's unnecessary. I feel like if anything, they should be, instead of, setting up this barrier up against us as a defense, instead of it, have them come in front of us, be in front of us, be with us, walk with us, let it be known that you're not part of the select group of cops who are against Black people, who are racist, and who use their jobs as a way to inflict violence on Black Americans. So, what did I say? Cloud chasers, cops, protesters, do what you do. Writers, Now, I don't personally like it, but everybody has their own way of expressing their opinion. And I feel like, now I'm not going to say every single rioter and looter is doing this for their cause, because I know some people are paid. I know some people are just using this opportunity to get them, some dope, Moncler or some Gucci sandals or whatever. But I will say that certain people, if they feel like they've gone about their lives in a certain peaceful way, and they've done the protests and they've gone about in ways to make sure that they're good, or that they're the good guy, and they still feel like they're not being respected, then they will resort to violence, because it seems like they're already violent. So, and I'm already being a good person, but they're still being violent. So why do I have to be the good guy? I might as well use what they're using towards me against them. So, with all that being said, I don't respect the looters and the riot. I don't respect what they're doing. I'm not gonna say I don't respect them as a person, but I understand why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. That's all I can
say. Cloud chasers, I just have nothing to say. They get exposed all the time, and I'm not really too concerned about them. Like, if you're gonna cloud chase on this subject, you're going to get exposed.
And I'm gonna say, they've been getting exposed in a
you know
really
what I mean. So it's
way.
like, yeah. So I'm not too concerned about that. If you're a cloud chaser, you're gonna slip up eventually. So I'm not really too worried about them at all. Protesters, like Imani said, just keep doing what you're doing, keep it peaceful, keep assembling. I was there on Sunday before it got wild, and police were the reason it got wild. So rioters, as Imani said, I'm not gonna get mad at someone for looting, and my reason's completely different. It has nothing to do with expressing yourself. It has everything to do with the fact that the government, white people, have taken shit from us for how long? They'll be alright if niggas steal some clothes, some material items, break a couple windows. They have insurance. I mean, like, the places people are stealing from are not like some small business or whatnot. Like, they're looking up small business. Well, they probably are, but not majority of the time. Like, it's like, what was it in Newberry Street? Uggs, Lace. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, these companies are going to be fine. I don't give a fuck about these companies, to be honest with you. So if you're going to loot the big company, if you're going to loot the big companies as a rioter, by all means, just don't make the protesters look bad. You feel me? That's all I'm trying to say. So that's how I feel about that. And what was it? Protesters, rioters, cult chasers, cops. I agree with you, Devin. I hate the fact that people are asking cops to kneel with them because I don't find it genuine. If you were genuinely on the protester side, you put your gun down and you go on their side and start chanting with them, not just fucking kneel. So that's how I feel about it. So until police officers start putting down their guns and go into the protesting crowd and protesting with them, I don't give a fuck for your kneels. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. It means nothing to me. And I mean that. So that's just my take on that. Keep it short and sweet.
And also, let me just add, any police captain, sheriff, chief, whatever, anyone that tells you not to show solidarity against racial injustice or police brutality says a lot about your department. That's all I want to say. It says a lot about your department. I don't care what the president says, what governor says, mayor. You as an individual, if you work for a police force, a captain, whatever, and for this situation, I know you have strong feelings. I know you have very strong feelings against it. And if they are telling you specifically not to speak out or show your solidarity against injustice like this,
that's not the company you want to work for.
You gotta reevaluate everything. You feel me? Because then you gotta think about, what happens when my life is next on the line? What are they gonna do for me? You feel me? What happens one day when you're not in uniform and you're just a regular black person on the street? You think you're just gonna show your badge and then that's gonna save you? Nah, fam. Nah. So I don't know, bro. Like when I was seeing at these protests, and let me just talk about Boston because Boston is gonna be the one that was most impactful to me, of course. So Sunday's protests, I was amazed. I was proud. I was happy when I saw the numbers, when I heard it was peaceful throughout the entire day. I was legit so proud until shit went left at the end. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And I understand if they say cops incited it, of course.
The whole story, bro.
Of course, like honestly, you incite a protest, you turn it into a riot, you tarnish the success of the whole protest by starting a riot. You feel me? So when people say the cops are the ones that incited it, I believe it. You feel me? When people say rioters incited it, I also believe it. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I'm just like, damn, fam. Like this protest, I think, that just started at around like 6 or something like that. Started like at 6 and then
5.
6:37.
It started at 6:30, but everyone started crowding up around like 5.
Yeah, so it was about a 4 or 5 hour protest and everything was cool, and then shit goes left at the end. I'm just like, hey, yo.
The reason shit went left, bro, is because the police officers, once the protest ended, they shut down the orange line, the green line, and the red line, and then tell everyone to disperse. How the fuck are you going to shut down the ways people are going to leave and then tell people to leave? And then when people aren't leaving fast enough, you throw gas. What?
Oh, you mush them.
Bro, like, nah, I'm not hearing it, bro. They really
Bro, they're telling you to leave just so they can say they gave you a warning.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, the news, if you watch the news, you're going to believe the news. That's why I had to sit down with my mom yesterday and just give her that. To that story, what you were saying, I just had to let the viewers know.
No, I feel you. So, yeah, for Sunday's protest, that was Sunday's protest. Other protests, let's see, today is...
There was one yesterday at Franklin
Wednesday?
Park.
Today, Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Okay, so Tuesday, was that last night, Monday? Okay,
yeah, that was a Franklin Park protest. Individual.
Another protest, and then they started rolling in the National Guard and all these other shit.
Which
now you see they're hitting people with rubber bullets and tear gas and shit. And I'm just like, yo, you're bringing all this shit for peaceful protesters. It's like, yo, if I have a whole group of peaceful protesters and then on the other side I see a bunch of riot cops with shields, tear gas, rubber bullets, and a bunch of trigger-happy, ready cops, fam, you don't think violence is gonna incite from that, bro? You think violence and peace is just gonna, like, yeah, everything's gonna go fine if we just pull up with our guns, they're just gonna, bro, like, just listen to us? No, bro, that's gonna incite anger and violence. And I'm just like, yo, when I see the president tweet about all this shit, and just like the certain terms he used to describe protest and protesters, I'm just like, fam.
Thugs.
I'm just like, fam.
Losers.
You're fucking nuts. You're fucking nuts. You can't get your country under control. You don't have control of your country. It's an election year, so now you're worried about looking weak in front of the entire world. So you just decide to use excessive force to stop all this shit, bro. And that doesn't happen.
Which makes me look even worse.
That makes you look even worse, bro.
Yo, I'm sorry, but they don't kill presidents the way they used to.
Don't kill me.
Like, real shit? Like,
do not kill me. Wow.
Like, real shit, bro. They killed JFK. All he wanted to do was good. They killed my nigga Lincoln. All he wanted to do was good. They never kill niggas for bad shit. Like, what?
I mean, think about who kills all these presidents.
Yeah, it's probably the government. Probably inside jobs, but I ain't trying to get into conspiracy theories right now. My thing is, I
was just gonna say they weren't black people.
I mean, we've only had one black president, so I mean,
no,
he made it out alive.
I'm saying people that assassinated presidents, the assassins themselves.
Oh, true. We're all white, yeah. So yeah, take one for the team. One of these white people need to take one for the team.
They ain't coming for Trump. Fuck.
But
for Trump.
No bullshit though. What resonates with me after like seeing the National Guard, you know what I mean, them using rubber bullets. Where was this when niggas charged the state house with machetes and fucking guns? Where was that in Michigan? You know what I mean? They didn't bring the police, tear gas, riot gear, none of that. They was just standing there letting niggas bitch them out. Mm-hmm. Why is it none when it's black people? You do all of this. You bring the National Guard. You're gearing up in riot gear. You're throwing tear gas. You're using rubber bullets. You're using pepper spray. You're arresting people. Like, none of that happened when it was actually, like, more wild 2-3 weeks ago, earlier in May. So I'm just like, yo, this country really ain't for us, bro. They don't fuck with us. Mm-hmm. And every day they show their true colors. Because if you just equate certain situations, all you got to do is just look at the similarities and look at the differences. There's way more differences than similarities, and they're the same fucking situations. Mm-hmm. So...
Mm-hmm. Well, you went to Sunday's protest, right?
And it was, bro, we got there.
Yeah, speak on that.
So, all right. So, I went to the protest with 4 of my people, 4 of my good friends. And legitimately, we got off the train at Ruggles Station, Reggie Lewis Center, essentially. And we walked from the Reggie Lewis to Nubian Square, and then from Nubian Square to the State House, bro. It was a good, 2-3 hour walk. It was peaceful. It was wonderful. We made friends. We was doing chants. It was great solidarity. Once we got there, bro, we all took a knee. We all prayed for a couple minutes. Then we got into there were mini circles all around the Boston Commons with people doing talks, speeches. Some people were doing little performances, some drum sets and shit. It was like, yo, the culture is here together. We're all in one spot, bonding and living together for one, you know what I mean? We're all here for one purpose. It was great. And then, once all that subsided, the police shut, I'll never forget. I was waiting for my boy Hawk. We were about to take the train, right? As I'm waiting for Hawk to meet him at this spot, I'm with three of my other friends. All we see is the red, the Park Street stop, how it's on, actually on the Commons. All we see is police officers locking those doors. No, you can't go in here. No, you can't go in there. Nope. And then we see, how the orange line is in downtown crossing, so you have to walk through downtown to the Commons. So all we see is police officers lined up on the sidewalk, so you can't go into downtown crossing. So you know how it's the street, and then you got the side roads to go into downtown. They were on the street, not letting you go into downtown. And then they said, leave the area. Where do you want thousands of people to go when you stop their transportation? Bruh, I was trying to leave around 9:15. I couldn't get an Uber for 45 fucking minutes. So I was stuck there. I was physically stuck there, and I had no choice. And towards the end, they started getting wild too. They started really throwing tear gas. I wasn't there when they started shooting rubber bullets, I think. But yeah, they arrested some people, and then that's when it became violent. That's when niggas started looting, when they started pissing people off. Then they pushed it to Newberry. But I left before the looting started.
Do you remember what time?
When the looting started?
No, that thing started to get violent.
Around 9:30, 9:15, 9:30.
And by then the protest was already over, right?
The protest was over, but like I said, the protest was over, and then majority of people stayed in the commons and were like watching people do some speeches, people doing some performances.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so people were still there, like not protesting, but still being a part of the culture, like just learning about each other. You know what I mean? Just still being there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a problem with that, I guess.
Yeah.
So
it sounded like to me that
it wasn't violent, and there was nothing violent going on in any way, bro, at all. Niggas was smoking weed. That was the most violent thing going on.
It sounds like everything was peaceful, and then everyone tried to leave, and then the cops stopped y'all from leaving so that they can then unleash excessive force, and I would assume arrest mad people who are out past curfew. Because I heard they instilled a curfew in the city too, right?
No, there's no curfew in Boston.
No curfew in Boston? Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's no curfew in Boston.
Some shit about
that's for the other states.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's for the
at least
states.
not yet.
That's crazy. It's like, yo, like if everyone is acting peaceful and then they try to leave peacefully, you try to stop them, and then when they haven't left because they can't leave, then you use excessive force, and then your reason is, yo, I was trying to clear the area. You literally stopped them from leaving.
But
what did you think was
going
to happen?
Bro, but if you watch the news Monday morning, they just tell you that protesters got wild and Boston PD had to step in and do some shit.
Of course.
They don't tell you what led into that. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the optics. They're playing the long game, bro, and I understand what they're doing. I get it,
bro.
It is what it is.
For the government, bro. They're not for us. The government controls the media, bro. The government controls everything that you see. So the government controls everything that you see. So that's why I'm so happy that we have social media at a time like this. Because if it wasn't for social media exposing everything that's going on, I'm not watching all of this shit, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so like all of these, like any riot that might have happened in the past, I'm just like, damn, is this the shit that could have been going on? Like, could everyone have been trying to be peaceful even when cops maybe try to turn shit up? Could everyone still be trying to be peaceful, and then the cops just said fuck it and they just let it loose on everybody? Because you could see many videos where people were on the floor, defenseless, completely harmless, you feel me? Peacefully protesting. And then you would still see cops staring at them, just chilling, and then shooting tear gas at them, or like shooting point blank rubber bullets in their face. And I know y'all seen the pictures of how big them fucking bullets are, bro. And I also learned that those bullets are meant to be shot at the ground so they can bounce and then, do whatever they got to do. But now they're shooting niggas point blank with that shit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this.
Yeah, bro.
One thing I did notice, though, one thing I did notice, and you mentioned, you brought this up earlier, there was a large amount of people. Well, I'm not gonna say large. There was a good amount of people that did show up after the protest just to loot.
I'm hip.
Like that is a fact. Like there were people that were there genuinely to loot, and it is what it is. Like I said, I respect it. Like they were upfront about it too. Like I respect them being upfront about it. Like, no, I'm not here to protest. I'm here to go loot some stores, get some shit.
Facts. But then all that falls back onto the protest, bro. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I understand it. I respect it. I don't agree with it. I respect it, but it is what it is. I can't get mad at them. I really can't get mad at them. I can't.
I'm hip.
But my thing is, one thing I will say though, if you're protests, like they're not gonna go past like 9 o'clock. If you're in the fucking city past 10:30, 10 o'clock, you're there for different reasons. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It really is that simple. So like that in itself, like the people who are out and about in the city doing this shit at those times want to be out during those times. They're not protesters that just stayed out. You know what I mean? Those are people that had the mentality, I'm gonna go loot today or tonight after the protests, and then went out and did that. Like protesters, most of the people I spoke to who were protesters didn't think like, yo, I'm gonna go loot after this. I didn't see anyone who went to the protest that was like, yeah, I plan on looting after this.
What do y'all think of Trump tear gassing protesters to take a picture in front of a church?
Well, I did learn that he did warn them, even though that doesn't make it okay because freedom of assembly and everything. But he wanted to make a statement, so I understand. I understand why he did it. I don't agree with what the fuck he did, but I know why he did it. And yeah, that's all I can say. I don't. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck Trump. He declared martial law, so essentially, like.
I have nothing to say about Mr. Cheeto Face. I gave him enough attention today.
Okay. How did y'all feel about Blackout Tuesday?
It was good. It was good. I feel like it made a statement. However, I did see people that didn't do shit the whole week started posting that, and that shit set me off. I called a couple people out though.
That's what I didn't like about it. Someone said that there was a large. It was like there was like 20-something million people posted on Blackout Tuesday, but when it came to the actual
12 million.
petition, was it 12 million? 12 million.
Yep.
And when it came to the actual petition, it's still like we're still struggling to get people to sign up, and it's only like 9 million we need for the petition. So I was just like, okay, so all y'all are like, it's like I said, it's clout chasers at the end of the day. Y'all see what the vibes is, and y'all want to hold on to that because that's what it is right now, but y'all were never about it from the first place. So I don't know. I liked the purpose of it, but to even see that people were doing Whiteout Tuesday, I was just like, all right, y'all are just haters at this point. Like, y'all literally can't leave us alone. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I participated in it, but the fact that there was people out here who just kind of diminished the whole purpose of it, in my opinion, I don't know. I got mixed feelings on it.
Do we think that even though like it might have been helpful, do we think it could have possibly been started to distract us from the protests?
No, because there's no way that was going to distract anyone from the protest, bro. And that was something that was strictly on Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we still have other we still have other methods to communicate. And for me, I'm not getting like, for me, I'm not even looking at Instagram majority of this protest. Like, everything going on, I haven't even been on Instagram like that. So it did not take away from it at all.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I mean, all right, so here's another question. I think this question is like outside of us, and it's just for like other people this might not affect. Like, what do we think about people feeling pressured to advocate? Because it's always the people that
my thing is, bro, if you feel pressure, you don't feel us.
Pressured to feel. It's always the people pressured to advocate that when they do speak out, end up getting roasted. You feel me? And I'm just like, damn, like you've been asking them to speak up, and even though they took mad long to speak up, and they finally decided to do something, and it's like, nah, nigga, you took too long to say something.
You got to think though. Why do people tell these people to speak up? Like, I'm not telling you to speak up for no reason. I want you to speak up because you always have something to say when it's another subject, or you appropriate Black culture. One of the two. Feel me? So either way, if it's the former where you always have something to say, if it's like gun violence, human rights, whatever, but when it's Black Lives Matter, silent, or you appropriate Black culture, and then when Black people are getting killed, you have nothing to say. Yeah, I'm gonna want you to say something because you take advantage of what we provide to society, but yet you won't acknowledge that society doesn't appreciate us, and you're capitalizing off of that. Nah, fuck that. I want to see you say something. You want to steal from us? You want to take from us? Bet. Support us then. Show us how you care. Show us that you care. And people that come out with terrible statements, bro, showing me that they never gave a fuck. You know what I mean? If it's coming from the heart, it can't be a terrible statement.
You can tell what's sincere and what's not.
That's what I meant, yes.
I mean, I was saying, like, I think that's kind of what we saw on Blackout Tuesday. Like, a lot of people that haven't said anything, but after days of, us on social media be like, yo, if y'all don't say anything, we're not cool, or blah, 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 just pressuring people to speak up. And then then that's what happens on Tuesday. You feel me? You just see mad people out of nowhere.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me posting a black picture and tagging Blackout Tuesday is speaking up?
No.
Oh,
Bro,
all right.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Because I'm saying that doesn't constitute speaking up for me.
Not at all, bro. I'm with you on that. I'm saying that people felt pressured to speak up, right? And a lot of people didn't speak up, but like a lot of the people that didn't speak up posted a black square, you feel me? And I feel like, yo, if that wasn't a thing on Instagram or some shit like that, people wouldn't have done shit, you feel me? I literally think what happened with Blackout Tuesday was just like, oh, okay, if I'm an account that doesn't have a black square on my profile, that means I'm going to get outed. That's literally what I saw Blackout Tuesday as, you feel me?
I feel that.
So that's why when that whole thing happened, I'm just like, I like my whole TL was like black squares, and I was like, all right, cool. This doesn't mean shit at all. Like if like this doesn't mean shit at all. But I was just like, all right, cool, you know, showing solidarity. But it mean you have to do more. You feel me? Like you got to actually do your research. I think what that Tuesday was supposed to be for was to take the time to actually learn about what the fuck is going on. You feel me? Because literally Tuesday, like you said, the world stopped. I loved what Apple Music did. They stopped promoting everything. They stopped promoting everything, and they just strictly streamed black music for that entire day, which was really cool. You're finally seeing all these brands and corporations step up. But once again, I feel like they are only making statements because we are pressuring them to. And they feel like if they don't make a statement, they're going to lose either their credibility or their followers or whatever like that. So now I just feel kind of iffy about it. You feel me?
At this stage in the game, in my opinion, it's either you make a statement for or against. It's really that simple. Because if you think about it this way, you have black people, we make up about like 40% of the country. I mean, bro, we're everywhere. You know what I mean? Like we work everywhere. And so when I say that, I mean like, yo, your employer has black people working there. If they do not make a statement, the black people working at your job are gonna look at you different. It's just that simple. Like imagine me working at Walmart and them niggas don't say anything about this shit going on. I'm gonna look at Walmart. They don't care about black people because I'm seeing all these other companies saying something, saying how they don't agree with this. You know what I mean? And it's really not that hard to speak out against racism. Like it's not like you're doing something bad. You're doing the good thing. So your company cannot do that. That just lets you know the type of people you're working with. So I like how we have companies, you know, coming out and speaking against, and companies that won't, because it's shedding light on who the fuck runs these corporations.
Facts. And I've been like loving seeing people that can't like relate to the situation at all, and they just decide to donate money instead. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. Honestly, I'm cool with that, bro. If y'all don't speak up, if y'all don't say shit, if y'all don't advocate for shit, if y'all make a donation, honestly, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
Bro, they may not be able to understand, but if you're gonna donate, that means you're empathetic. You do understand. You do understand.
So that's why I'm cool. Which is why I'm cool with that.
Like The Weeknd donated $500,000, bruh.
Yeah. You wanna?
Nah, he donated. $500,000. Yeah. Warner
donated
Music
$500,000.
$100 million.
He donated 1,000 Virgils, bro.
Man, that shit was so funny, bro. That shit, man, I was crying on my TL.
100,000 Virgils. 10,000 Virgils.
And it's crazy because, like, for a regular person, that would have been fine, but it's because he has money that it's an issue.
Bro, it's What? But 10 minutes.
And now with all of this happening, now the world is revisiting the Colin Kaepernick situation. And now everyone's wondering what's going to happen when sports come back after the coronavirus. Your boy George Brees had a little statement to make today.
Drew Brees.
Oh, what did I say?
Yeah.
You said George.
Oh,
my fault. My fault. My mind is still on George Floyd. My fault. What's it called?
George Brees?
Drew Brees. What's it called? Your man Drew Brees made a statement today, bro. What you think about that, bro?
Yo, so for the viewers that didn't see, this man was doing a virtual interview with someone, and they asked him how he felt about people kneeling during the what was it, national anthem and shit, I guess. And he was like, I'll never be for someone disrespecting the flag. My grandfathers fought in World War II, Vietnam for this flag, yada yada yada. He got crucified by LeBron James and more athletes, professional athletes. Jordan Howard as well. Just a bunch of football players and basketball players, and a lot of niggas in the sports industry did not fuck with what he said. The reason why I don't fuck with what he said is because he mentioned his grandfathers and equated them fighting for war, fighting in the war for them, you know, fighting for independence and all that. But yes, I understand they were fighting in the war, but were black people not fighting in the war alongside your grandparents? Word, they were. So my question for you is, what happened when they got back? They were treated like second-class citizens. And Drew Brees is smart enough to know kneeling is not disrespecting the flag, because we've already explained this so many times what niggas are kneeling for.
So many times.
So the fact that he's choosing to be ignorant in the position that he is in, a top 5 NFL quarterback, one of the highest paid players in the world, the leader of his football team, New Orleans Saints, niggas look up to him, and he is in a locker room full of black people.
Okay.
Bro, that's not the statement you make, bro. That's really just not. And you just look bad in public eyes. It's no matter how you do it. And I guess he's gonna run back these comments.
Huh? And in the time frame, bro.
Bro, he looks like
from the first time Kaepernick kneeled all the way to right now, bro, for your mindset to not change at all, bro, in that time span, that shit's crazy, bro.
No, he's choosing to be ignorant, bro, because Cap has explained what the kneeling is about. Stephen A. Smith has explained what the kneeling is about. The news has explained what the kneeling is about. It's been explained over and over and over again. And for you to think it's disrespecting the flag, you're choosing to be ignorant. And for you to bring up your grandparents, you're just looking for an excuse to be ignorant. Mm-hmm. So
facts.
I don't give a fuck about Drew Brees. I never really cared. That's why he only has 1 Super Bowl ring. So
don't kill me.
Tom Brady, Tom Brady we trust.
And choosing to be ignorant about all of this was like one thing, but choosing to be ignorant during a time where this is all that's going on, bro. choosing to be ignorant where literally nothing else in the world is going on except for this, and you still decide to put your attention otherwhere, bro. It just says a lot about you and your character, bro. It says a lot. And I just get tired of it.
I lost respect for him, bro. I have nothing more to say in that. I lost respect for him. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and I get tight all the time because I'm just like, yo, like, how many times do we gotta bring up the importance of Black lives, and it's just given an excuse to focus on something else? You feel me? How many times? Every time, it's like crazy. It's just like,
that's why you're protesting.
Anytime there's an issue going on, I feel like we deal with it right away. You feel me? It's like anytime the world is on fire with an issue, we deal with it right away. But when it comes to racism, I feel like when we try to deal with racism, we're giving another issue to focus on instead. You feel me?
You got to understand, bro, in order to fix racism, you have to take away something from the majority, like the white people. So you got to get, the people who are okay with, equal rights understand what the fuck is going on. The people who don't want the status quo. Like, it's benefiting them. Why would they want shit to change, bro? You feel me? So we just got to take that shit. We need laws that encourage this shit. But I'm not gonna think of this shit on the fly. That's something I want to, write out. Discuss with my inner self before discussing that with y'all. But that's all I'm gonna say on that. But yeah, fuck Drew Brees.
So with all that being said, if you decide to still protest after all of this, just be safe, you feel me? Because now you see what's going on in these streets. You see what the police is doing. You see that Trump is green-lighting all of it. So please just be careful, you feel me? Be careful when you're out there, because we want you to come home because your life matters. You feel me? And that's all I wanted to say on that. Whew. All right. You all want to go into reality checks? Wrap this episode up.
Yes, sir. So my reality check is for those of you who are out protesting, I want y'all to be aware. I want y'all to be cognizant. I want y'all to be safe. You're there to protest. You're not there to start shit. You're not there to start a riot. You're not there to start a war. It's bigger than you. I need you to understand that. So when you are going out peacefully protesting, make sure that's what you're actually doing, peacefully protesting, because we have a message we want to get out there, and we have changes that we want to be made. So I don't want any protesters going out there fucking up the message. All right. So if you're going out, like I said, peacefully protest and make your statement. That's my reality check. Keep it short and sweet, straight to the point.
Heard. How about you, Amani?
I think I'm gonna use last week's because this is just a very tiring time, and I know a lot of people are dealing. We've already been through a lot with the coronavirus, so I can only imagine what this situation is doing to a lot of people. So just a reminder of mental health. Please, as soon as you wake up, do not put yourself to your phone. Do not spend hours on end on your phone because the shit is everywhere. And if you can't deal with it like that, then I advise you to not be on your phone like that. Find other ways. Be outside. Take a walk. Be with your friends, your family. Check up on them if you're going to be on your phone. And that's it for me.
And then for my reality check, I'll just say that racism is something that we've had to endure and internalize for a very long time. Now, even though it may seem like everything is clear to you because you've lived it, it's clearly not clear for everybody else. So with that being said, I want to say, don't be so quick to just dismiss people who are seeking to be educated in the matter, because I really do believe that there's a lot of people like who are just ignorant, but they don't want to be ignorant anymore. So have that patience, take that time. If you'd like, if you want to tell them to fuck off and go educate themselves, by all means, you can do that too, because Google is free, you feel me? But if someone comes to you seeking help and education, don't be so quick to dismiss them. That's my reality check.